The NFL is accustomed to playing by its own set of rules. Despite taking in $9 billion in revenue last year, the league operates as a nonprofit, and it continues to punt when it comes to the long-term impact of head injuries suffered on the field. But now, in the wake of new revelations about how the league handled the Ray Rice domestic abuse case, the NFL could be forced to change its ways. Here to discuss the potential fallout is sports agent Stephen Freyer, who was signed to the Denver Broncos after graduating college, and Gary Washburn, who's been a sports reporter for more than 20 years and now works for the Boston Globe. Welcome to Greater Boston to both of you.
Thank you.
So with this new revelation, according to the Associated Press, which has a stellar reputation, they are reporting that someone at the NFL received this tape and they heard a voice message of 9 seconds long that says, "Oh yeah, you're right, it's terrible." Is it possible? I'm gonna take Roger Goodell on his word that he didn't see it. But if somebody did, if somebody in the NFL saw that, is it going to cost him his job?
I think it could very well. The problem is there's been a cascade of bad news for the league. You can talk about Aaron Hernandez, the whole issue of concussions, the Redskins name, the bullying in Miami. So it hasn't been like this one major issue. It's been a whole bunch of things happening. And I think Goodell, by and large, has done a good job managing it. But this one has caught him short. He's already had to make a mea culpa. And the owners are tough cookies, and if they believe that the ship is taking on water, I think the owners would say maybe we need a change.
You know, Gary, when Don Sterling got in all that trouble, Donald Stern, that's the NBA commissioner, came out. I mean, he was brilliant. I mean, he was just captivating, jaw-dropping. He was so specific, no nonsense. He just took him right on and said, "You're out." I mean, no one in the NFL has done that. Certainly the owners have been very mamby-pamby. I hate to say it, even Bob Kraft. I mean, I can see supporting somebody you like Roger Goodell, if you think he's honest and he's being truthful about this, but no one has taken on a bigger issue in a really aggressive way. None of the owners. Why not?
Because one, I mean, Roger Goodell's an employee of the owners. Okay,
that's true.
I mean, that's a big factor here, and the fact that I think they truly like Goodell, and the fact that he was considered a heavy-handed commissioner before this, before the 2-game suspension assessed to Ray Rice, before the second tape was released by TMZ this week, that was where everything kind of turned for the worse for him. Where, you know, you had the number one demographic target for the NFL is women. Okay, so when you have an issue like this, they've got to do something about this. And I don't think Roger Goodell is going to lose his job, but I think someone under him is going to lose his job. Whoever didn't watch the tape and didn't tell him, someone's going to be the fall guy for this situation. I don't think it's going to be Goodell, but heads are going to roll after this situation.
The NBA guy is Adam Silver. Sorry, I had that wrong. But I mean, what's the difference between what Adam Silver did? Doesn't he work for the owners too? I mean, why couldn't Goodell do the same thing about the broader issue about, say, you know what, we're not going to take any more of this nonsense about, you know, domestic abuse, or frankly, we're not going to deny the head concussion situation anymore. Just take it on. He hasn't done it.
He hasn't done it, and I think this could be a turning point in the way the league manages itself. And I think you will see now a lot more aggressiveness. Obviously, when he came out with his mea culpa, Goodell changed the game, changed the rules. And I think that you're going to see a ratcheting up of that. On the other side of the coin, you have a couple of thousand A-type young men, very aggressive, very active. And if you even take 1% of those 2,000 people and they misbehave, that's 20 people out there. And it's not like you and I or Gary who do something foolish. A few of our friends and neighbors and our family know about it.
True.
If you're a running back for the New England Patriots and you do something foolish, in the 24-hour news cycle, it's out there. So what the league is concerned about right now is they're all being painted by this brush, and believe me, the players are worried about it as well.
Yeah, I was watching, I got confused. I was thinking last night was Thursday, I was going to watch, just to see if they addressed it in any way, I was going to watch the game. Instead, I stumbled upon some stupid NFL show that was some pregame show. Had to have been pre-taped. I'm hoping it was. I mean, the banter, I mean, it was just like none of this existed. You know, no one's talking about it. I don't even remember the names of the two hosts, but it was like, You're kidding me. You're not even going to, you're just going to act like it didn't happen?
Well, I think, one, the NFL wants to celebrate the game.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, they don't want any of their players in trouble.
Oh, we wouldn't know about it if they talked about it. I mean,
and the things like the concussion issue, the NFL has still never admitted that playing football causes concussions.
Yeah.
They don't want a whole generation of young men not to play football. They're promoting the sport. It's about the sport. It's about the game. So, of course, they're going to sweep this under the rug. But this is something they can't do. This involves money. This involves, I mean, just to think of all the wives of the owners. What are they saying to their husbands about this situation? I mean, they're going to jump on their husbands and say, well, aren't you going to say something to the commissioner? This is the worst video I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a whole demographic of women
That's
who
right.
are fed up with this, and you've got the NFL that wants to say, well, get your fantasy team ready. That's not, you've got to address these issues.
We get the impression as a woman that if Ray Rice had gotten into a bar fight and hit somebody or stabbed somebody or whatever, he would have been arrested. But the fact that it was his girlfriend was like, oh, well, that it was just his girlfriend.
Well, it'll be interesting this evening. By pure coincidence, the Ravens are playing on CBS tonight. It'll be interesting to see how CBS handles this, because they really were excoriated today for the way they handled the interviews.
Yeah. Were they?
Oh, yeah.
Which interviews is this?
The long knives are out now also with the announcement that Robert Mueller was appointed as the investigator.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he is of the law firm that negotiated the terms of the contract between the NFL and this CBS.
You got Robert Mueller and you got two owners. I mean, they should have, parceled this out to an independent like you two, maybe.
Of course.
I would have had a good say in that, too. All right, Gary Washburn, Stephen Freyer. Always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Wendy.